story. Keith Allen was born and raised in Coalinga and attended Fresno City and Fresno State. Before entering broadcasting, he earned wages in electronics, music, theater, and cooking. Liz Harrison grew up and was college educated on the East Coast with a high school diversion in Belgium. She joined Channel 30 in 1982. Both Keith and Liz are Emmy-winning professionals. 2 years ago, in marriage, they blended 5 children.
Okay, so Keith and Liz, okay, Liz, we know you and you're on TV, but I'd like for you to start off, and as you guys speak, I want you to stand up. But tell us what you really like, and maybe some of the things that you maybe don't like so much about your job.
I think the best part of my job is that I get to meet a lot of people. That's my very favorite part of what I do, especially when I did a lot of reporting before I had to do more newscasts.
Okay, let's hear from your hubby. So now, Keith, all right, tell us exactly what do you do? What is your role there at Channel 30? How long have you been there, and what do you like?
The thing I really enjoy about it is being part of, when I go to shoot a story or an interview, is becoming part of, say, like the family. If it is a cancer patient, you know, if it's somebody who's you know, whatever our stories may be, being invited into their homes and lives. And it actually goes through and you become an asset. It's very fulfilling. Just knowing that what you're doing is going to go through and help somebody.
Where did you first come to know this one called Lord Jesus, and what has he done in your life, and how has he changed your life?
On January 21st, 1990, on my living room couch, I accepted Jesus at the age of 30, and I have to say my life has not been the same since. It hasn't been all wonderful, but I have to say, if I had not had Jesus in my life, I would be in a hospital somewhere, or maybe not even alive.
So, how about you, Keith? So, give us your spiritual journey. Where did that start, and how did that all come about for you?
It was Buf character. Buf. I had attended Northwest Church, and I didn't know if I had accepted Christ. And this was back in the 90s, and I had a meeting with him, and he stood there, big old Buf, as big as a bear, and he's just like, "What do you want?" And I said, I don't know if anybody's ever asked me if I accepted Christ. And he stood up and goes, "Stand up." And I said, you know, and that's Buf, you know, that was Buf. Everybody's got Buf stories. So I stood up, and he's just like, "Well, do ya?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Congratulations." And he lifted me up. He gave me this hug. And he goes, "Welcome to the family." He goes, "Get out of here."
Okay, now Keith, let's talk about the cancer battle. Let you start off.
I'm going through the process of going to all of the doctors, you know, getting ready for her surgery, and the process of it. She was a trooper, but, you know, I have to say, you know, my hat's off to her. She's very, very positive. A lot of it, people see it, but you know, I'm also there during the down times. But emotionally, it does take a toll. You shut down. You get numb. I was very numb. She'd always ask, you know, "What's going on? What's wrong with you?" And I would just tell her, I don't know. I don't know what to feel. Take her in for chemo, and she'd be fine for a couple of days, and then about the 3rd or 4th day, she'd crash. You know, and then she'd be cabbed up, you know, and be carrying her, lifting her, sometimes, you know, helping her, you know, with daily things, you know, because she was just so weak. Inside, sometimes you just want to turn and run like hell, you know. You're just like going, "Dear God, you know, can I do this?" You know, and it's just like, yeah, it is, you know, and God was right there. And it's just like I had to go through and just keep my eyes on him.
And I know you're a tough lady, you're strong, but tell us how you really went through it.
I decided that before my hair was going to fall out, I was going to get rid of my hair. I think that was probably the hardest on him. He actually shaved my head, and Keith was shaving my head, and probably the most serious I've ever seen him in his whole life. And so then, sure enough, it was a week later, I had my second chemo treatment, and all of my hair fell out. So I can't say I got mad at God, but I just got mad. And then my husband did something remarkable. We work for ABC, of course, and at the same time I was going through everything I was going through, Robin Roberts of Good Morning America was going through a much tougher battle than I was. And he sent her an email. And he says, I don't know if you'll ever respond to this or whatever. My wife is having a really hard time. Now, I had met Robin Roberts a couple of years ago when she was here in town speaking. And he goes, she's going through a really hard time right now. You've been an inspiration to her to this point. I don't know if you have time, but here's her email address and here's her telephone number. So I'm sitting on my living room couch waiting to hear what time I'm going to be going in for my daily infusions of antibiotic treatments. And all of a sudden my phone rings and it comes up an unknown number. So I'm thinking that's probably the doctor that's calling me. Hello, Liz? Yes? This is Robin Roberts. I go, oh my gosh, I lost it. I lost it. And so she goes, your husband must love you a lot. And so he had written that email, and she decided to call me, and we shared stories, and she was an incredible encouragement. I don't know how much you know of her journey, but she is a really strong woman of God and very positive, and we've kind of been emailing each other back and forth from time to time, encouraging each other, but that was a really cool thing.